Hey guys, hey Terrell, how's it going? What are you guys up to? Obsession? What was, I don't know what obsession was. Spider-Man seems okay. I mean, I'll probably watch it, but I'm not gonna run out to the movies to see it. Okay, maybe I'll look into it if I get a chance. Is it a new movie or is it an old movie? All right, I'll if I ever get a chance, I'll look into it. It's kind of shot. Hey, Raccoon. Yeah, send me a couple links. I'll look into it. All right, I gotta sand a couple areas still. Why? What was wrong with the printer? Alright, where the hell did I put the other hand? Here it is. Ah, okay, I got you. Yeah, they're probably going to start designing these to break on you guys a lot more. So you got to keep fixing and rebuilding. That's how to get you. Alright, now I had some rods that I can't find. Here we go. Here's one. I was looking for this one. That's the one I was looking for. Here. And this one. Just gonna have to lean this like that. Alright, clean my airbrushes, so I guess we'll get a base coat on her before, see if there's any errors I missed. Thought I sanded all this down. I guess I didn't. Nothing else I'm missing. There. Thought I had a mask. I'm just gonna grab a new one. I got a sinus infection, so I don't feel like breathing in any extra fumes. At least the good thing with her is she's going to be very dirty. So we're going to make her look like she's been through the jungle. So if there's any like mishaps or any oversprays, maybe that'll work to our advantage. That's one thing I noticed about 3D prints is whenever I start adding like color onto it, I start to see like the variation of the, like, I guess the 3D print with some of the lines. Like, I never saw this here before, but when I started adding the light color, it popped out more. Yeah, except this one popped out a little bit more. Like, I didn't see any on this leg, but it was just, it's not really in here, it's a little bit in here, but it must have just been this leg. But I figured this was going to happen. But I cleaned her up pretty well. I'm not really seeing a lot of issues. I think it's just this leg here. Just a little bit in here as well. And a little spot. Hey, Devastator Scott Raphael, how you guys doing? Sorry, I'm not looking at chat while I paint. Cookies would sound good right about now. That would be, I should probably get some this weekend. I haven't had cookies in a while. I'm really only a chocolate chip fan. I used to love Entenmann's chocolate chips, but I think the last time I got them, it made me really, really sick. So I think they're kind of like whatever the hell they're putting in that's not good anymore. I don't know if you guys are into like the card market, but it's kind of has to do with like comics in a way. I don't know if you guys have heard, but PSA has like 2 class action lawsuits against them now. I guess they're doing a lot of shady crap with their cards. Plus now they're like they own Beckett, they own another company, and it's just basically like CGC and PSA now. So I guess a lot of people are. It's pretty crazy what's going on. I saw that PSA now, if you like grade your comic or your card, they base it off like the value of like what it sells on eBay now. So you get hit with like a fee for that. So if you're, say you grade the card and grade the card at like $150, but say the card sells for like 50 grand or 100 grand, they charge you like $18,000 or something. It's crazy. It's just that I guess now with PSA into the comic books, they're kind of doing the same thing. So if you were to grade like a first appearance Superman book, if it sells for like $1 million or whatever, they're gonna like they're gonna quote you at like 100 grand or something, like in fees, because it's a high grade item, and you won't be able to get your book back unless you pay that much money. So like I've been looking into PSA, and I'm like, I'll never use PSA ever to grade a comic book. I'll just stick with CGC until they get worse. I wish PSA didn't buy Beckett, which owned CBCS, but that's the way the world works, I guess. Well, what it has to do is it has to do a lot with the sports cards and the Pokemon cards, really. Like that market has gone like complete ape shit from what I've seen, and the amount of people that are scamming, that are grading cards, flipping them, and PSA is so backlogged. They have to grade like 10 million cards or something before they can open up the lower tiers again. Yeah, it's a real shit show. I've been watching it the past week, the whole like market and how everything's unfolding, and sadly, I'm glad I'm not like into like that type of market, because it's bad from what I can tell, like really bad. I mean, I can't get over that. Like, if you grade a comic book and it's like 74 or earlier, they grade it. They charge you an extra tier because if it's like a golden or age book. But like with cards though, if it doesn't matter like the year, if it's just like worth like if it's a first like appearance, like a rookie card of Mickey Mantle or something, it's like they just charge you crazy amounts of money. It's insane. No, I don't think it works that way. I think it's at the time, like, the value of the comic or the card, I think. I don't know, like, I haven't really gotten into it too much, but I just saw that some guy got a sports card graded, and he got hit with a $17,000 fee, because I guess it was worth, like, a $80,000 card. So I guess PSA is like, you know what, we're getting our cut for the card. Which is kind of bullshit, you know? I mean, you're a grading card company. You're supposed to have a flat fee, but I guess PSA is getting greedy. And it's like also like $150 per card now to get graded. I don't know. I'm seeing what's going on in the card market, and then I'm starting to see what PSA is slowly doing in the comic book market, and it's kind of scary because they're gobbling up all these smaller companies, which is like a monopoly, and I guess that people are trying to like get the government to break them up again because they own all these little smaller companies. So and sadly they're like, I guess now that everything is now like a stock market for cards, so I guess like all these vendors and resellers are treating it like a stock market, so they just go to PSA because they know they're going to get the most money. So it completely wiped out the collector now, and it's completely like a stock market. So it's weird. So my goal is going forward is, since I got everything graded, I really want graded for like my personal collection with CBCS and CGC. Going forward now, I'm just getting like signed stuff graded just for displays, but I'm not getting into this market anymore for like collecting, because it's gotten crazy. I'm just glad I'm not into Pokemon cards or anything, because that whole market's absolutely insane now. I can't believe the amount of like, just like I see vendors selling cards for like 20, 30 grand at a time now. It's insane. I don't know if you guys know any more than I do, but it's mind-blowing. Well, here's the thing. I guess their philosophy is that they're going to get their cut of what it's insured or something. I don't know. I have to look into it a little bit more. But I guess but you can also like send it into PSA, and then you could say, well, I don't want the card back, you sell it for me, and then I get a percentage. So they're also doing a scam now where if they grade your card at a 9, you could say, well, I wanted a 10, so I'll put it in your vault and you'll give me like $700 when it was like, it's worth like 900 or 1,000. But then what PSA is doing is they crack it back open and then they grade it at 10, and then they sell it for like 3 grand. So it's an amazing scam with what's going on with PSA, and everybody knows it, and they're still using them, which is insane. I was watching a video today. It's called like National Card Show or something, and I guess it was like, you know, a big card event where like it's sports cards and Pokemon cards. And the line of on-site grading for PSA was like out the door, and I guess people were just running in there to get stuff graded so they could just flip it and make money. Like, I don't think really anyone's collecting anymore. Yeah, I'm not knocking that people making a living off of it. I mean, if people are buying and you can make the money, more power to you. I just find that, I guess if you're not like that type of person who's gonna run out to Walmart when the cards are being first on sale to get them right away, you're pretty much you're buying it on the secondary market if you're a collector. So you're the ones who are spending all the money. But I see guys at these shows who they buy the cards, they make deals with people to sell them at a higher price, and then they sell, and they just keep selling and trading, selling and trading. At some point, the market's going to crash. I don't know how it can sustain itself with the amount of money people are dropping in this stuff. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just floored at the amount of money and the amount of like it's like the only time I see like people collecting is like the more of the mom and pop guys that do the card shows, like the Pokemon cards, where kids come up to them and they have fun trading with the kids and people donate to their streams. There's a guy called like Big Beard Dad or something. And then the other one's like Coops Collectibles. That's something more where like the kids are collecting and they're having fun. But then I watch the other channels and these guys are like, oh, that's a $30,000 card, that's a $20,000, that's a $15,000. I'm sitting there like you're not even, like, you don't even care about the artwork or character. You just know that it's worth this much money and you just want it. It's weird. So I guess that's why a lot of the guys left the comic book scene and they went to Pokemon cards, because they could make money. So it's actually been good for me though, because over the last 2 years, anytime I find like a comic I always wanted, it's nowhere near what it used to be like a few years ago with all the influencers. All those guys went to like Pokemon cards now, which is great because, you know, when they were going crazy in the comic market, there was comics selling for like $500, and I'm sitting there like, that comic was never worth more than $3. But now that they all left, everything has gone down in price, which is great. So I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, the whole comic book card market was boomed during the lockdowns, and it died real fast. It died because everybody realized that that stuff was so overproduced that once everybody found out it was worth money, everybody went to their parents' garage and they pulled out their cards. But right now I also saw, I don't know if you guys are into the sports cards, but they have those cards now where it's like a pack of cards, but when you open it up, it's actually one thick block, and inside the block is like a cut t-shirt or a jersey. Well, there's a new scam going around where they pull out that card and say it's like the bottom part of a jersey where it's just white t-shirt, it's not worth anything. They're ripping out the t-shirt piece and they jam in another t-shirt piece, the better areas, and then they're flipping that card for crazy amounts of money. So that's another scam going around. Yeah, there's but it seems that a lot of the scalpers and resellers that have been buying up all the stuff from like Costco, they're actually getting jammed up now because they bought like a couple sets that no one really cares about. So they're sitting on like all these sets that nobody wants to buy, which is kind of funny. But I'm amazed at the card market. I'm floored. In one way, make your money if people want to pay for it. But then two, it's sad that, you know, like little kid collectors that just want to collect the cards and have fun, they can't even like dive into the market. But there are some vendors that help kids, which is good, you know. I wish we had vendors like that when I was collecting comics. When I was collecting comics, going to the Holiday Inn comic book show, they didn't give a shit of who you were. They wanted your money. They didn't want to help any kids out. So different time, I guess. Yeah, some of those. I remember over in Japan. They had the Pokemon cards and the McDonald's meals, and I think the people from China or Korea were running over into Japan to get them, and they were buying the Happy Meals, but then they were throwing the Happy Meals in the trash, and just to get the card. So if you look up those videos, there's just piles of McDonald's food collecting, like just sitting outside it was like it was a crazy shit show. But it was funny, all those cards now are not worth jack. So I don't know. I don't know, it's a crazy market. I'm just still adding random shading, trying to get some color into the crevices. I should take this out. What the hell? Why is this so sticky? Hey, as of right now, I'm just, this is a mixture of color that I have. It's kind of, it's like the old color mix of, whatchamacallit, Golden's burnt sienna hue that they used to make. The lady from the company gave me the formula. So it's like a little bit of red, yellow, and black mixed together. There we go, now I got it. So I'm just kind of jamming color everywhere right now. We'll tone it down in a second. I like to just get color all over it. So I don't do washes or anything like that normally, so. Well, I never do washes. I like to kind of keep blending the colors together. But she's gonna get really dirty after all the colors on her. We'll kind of like do washes and splatters and just kind of get her all messy. I always have a hard time of trying to paint separate pieces. I know some people can do that. I like to have everything sort of together. So I could find a formula in a second and I could put it in chat. I think I still have the email buried. So give me a second. Let me get this. I love the old color from Golden, the burnt sienna hue. I always found that it was like a perfect reddish brown mix for like shading. And then if you added like skin tones to it, you could get like a tanned color. It wasn't easy to mix, but I'll grab the email in a second. I wish they never got rid of that color. I still have a bottle left, but I save it for my personal stuff. I asked the lady on the phone if like you can put it into corporate to like make that color again. They're like, nah, we're never making it again. I was like, alright. I was like, doesn't hurt to ask, I guess. What I lack is a good transparency set. I still need to get that transparency like garage kits used to have. That's the one thing I'm lacking. Let me see if I still have that email. Alright, here's the... Here we go. Alright, so here is the burnt sienna hue. So I don't think I have all the colors here, but this was the old, this is the bottle burnt sienna hue. And this color right here was just the absolute, it's an absolute great for shading. Sadly, they don't make the hue anymore, so that's the formula for it. So this is like the last bottle I have, but like I said, I saved this for my personal stuff now. Since it's still good. So if you get those colors I just put in chat, you can put it into a bottle like this and make yourself a big bottle of it. When I mixed it though, it still didn't come out exactly like that bottle because I was trying to mix too little. I think you got to mix a lot more together, so you got to kind of measure it out. It's not the best way of doing it, but at least it's something like this, because this has sort of like that reddish, it's kind of like a reddish skin brown, but it's not like just pure brown or pure red. But if you mix this up with like a color like this, you could get more of a tanner color too. But I like it the way I paint. I just kind of like this kind of color. If I had garage kit colors, I would go in with some like of the reds and the oranges now, but sadly I don't have those anymore. Terrell bought them all up. Now if I had garage kit flesh tones right now, what I would do is I would tone it down with the transparency flesh, but I don't have that. So what I have to do is take the original color or another color and water it down a bit, and then I could kind of tone this down. I like to blend with the airbrush. I just like that misty, soft look to her. My statues, I know a lot of... It's kind of funny. I've noticed in the statue painting hobby, if you don't paint realistic, there's people who hate your paint-ups. And then there's other people who, if you don't paint like with washes, they don't like your paint-ups. And I get people who contact me and are like, I want you to paint like this guy. But it's like, it's weird in the hobby. Like, you don't get this with like 2D artists, like sketches and drawings. You know, like if you get Jim Lee, you get a Jim Lee artwork. But in the hobby, it seems like I get sort of hate for not painting realistic. It's weird. it's strange in the hobby. I've never, you don't see this with like, you know, comic book artists. You know, if you go to Jim Lee and you commission him for a sketch, you don't ask him to draw like Rob Liefeld, you know. But I've noticed with statues, it seems that people act like that everybody paints the same. So even to this day, I still get people who are like, I love your work, I want you to paint something for me, but then they're like, can you paint it like this? And they'll give me like an exact person who painted it, and I'm like, no, I don't paint like that. And then they get kind of upset. It's weird. It's like the only hobby I've noticed that. You know, it's not like people go to like Adam Hughes and be like, hey, I want to commission you to do a head sketch, but draw it like Jim Lee. You know, it seems weird in the statue hobby. And then that's also why I don't repair people's commissions. Like, if they had Saul paint up a statue but it broke, but they asked me to repair it, I'm like, no. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to match his, you know, his paint up. So you should ask him to repair it. It's a strange little quirk in the statue hobby. It's kind of funny though. It's funny when the people get really angry at me. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I've gotten I think it was in the beginning of the year I had somebody contact me, and I forgot what item they wanted, but they wanted the item painted, and then we got to talking, and then all of a sudden they were like, they sent me pictures of somebody else's work, and they were like, I want you to paint it like this, and I'm like, that's not how I paint, and they were like, they got a little pissed off at me. They're like, I don't understand why. I'm like, well, that's not how I paint. So that talk ended pretty fast. So I don't know. It's strange. A lot of. There's always been hate in the hobby though, in statues. Ever since I got into it back in the day, there's always been like. A lot of oh, you're painting, but you're not this painter, so your work sucks and you're a horrible person. And it's like there's a lot of I can't really call it fanboying. It was just more anger, just some weird anger back in the day. I don't know. I always just move on to the next project or next commission or whatever. No, I don't know what happened. What? Can you break it down? Maybe I did hear about it. If it was 10 years ago, then I don't remember. I'm sure I heard about it. I've heard a couple rumblings lately that a couple guys ran off with commission money. It's always the risk with this hobby. See, I like to get the shadows in between like the muscles and areas, and it kind of like, then I tone it down, but it kind of still in there. I know a lot of people like the washes because it lets the natural light show like the shadows. I kind of just like to soften up everything. It's just kind of how I see things. So it's just a different way of painting. I know there's other guys who will paint the whole item with shadow first and then highlight. I just do it this way. I think I've said in the past that my art professor says I paint like old Italian artists, how they used to paint their oil paintings. So maybe it's just like in the blood. I don't know. Now I do have transparencies, but they don't always. Let me see. Where's the maroon one? Yeah. So. Freakflex Badger has transparencies. They're not bad, but you can't really mix them with like paints. Like if I was to mix this in with this, it would like gum it all up. But you can sort of use this sort of like garage kit flesh tones, but they're not as friendly. So you can kind of tone it down a bit. Like this is maroon, so it's kind of almost like they're close to their flesh in a way. It's kind of like an orangey red. Oh, really? I'm gonna have to. That's something I'm gonna have to look into. If you have any specific links and stuff, you could always send it to me on Instagram or email it to me. If it's something I can listen to, I'll definitely check it out. Put it on my list for when I'm at the desk working. Oh, the Robert Grantino. I saw that video this week. Who said? Someone sent it to me. Oh no, yeah, it was on statue form. Somebody sent me a link, and I was listening to the video. I never heard of that guy before. But it was. I listened to some of the video this week, and it was actually pretty funny. The guy really got away with some crazy shit. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard of that, Robert Grantino Devastator just said it's a good video to listen to. Yeah, send me the video about the statue stuff. But the other one that Devastator's talking about, I did see that this week, and that was a funny story. Like I said, my kick this past week has been all the Pokemon and the card market scams, and the guys trying to steal cards at the shows, and guys buying like $30,000 boxes of unopened Pokemon cards, and when they open it up, it was like just junk inside. There's just so much of that out there right now. It's insane. I'm going to tone this down again with the original color. Then I think I'm going to go in with like a virgin flesh color. What I like to do at this point is, do I have any? Oh, good, I have another can back there. Use Tester's dull coat. At this point, garage kits were perfect to have because they would kind of melt together. These sort of melt together, but not as much. So this kind of would help, like, because what it is I spray far away and it kind of gets misty, but then when it hits the Tester's dull coat, it sort of like melts the misty part together, I guess you could say. Plus it's good to sort of protect the skin as best as possible. But with her, she's going to be dirty anyway, so she's going to be a dirty, dirty girl when we're done. Psyduck's gonna be dirty and make them look like they definitely been in the jungle. But we gotta get the base color done first. Yeah, I try to spray on fairly thick, but not like where it's gonna bleed and run the stuff, but enough that kind of tones it down. Kind of pops in some of those shades a little bit more. Just gotta kind of let that dry up a bit. So what I'll probably do next is, since we have the original color, we have like pale pink from it was a Krill Pro, so we could try to do some highlights in areas. I don't want her to be pale, but I don't want her to be like tanned up either, so we kind of want to get a little coloring going. But if there's certain areas that you can't really hit with the airbrush, you can always go in with like pastel colors and sort of like hit it with shades if you're, you know, if you're having an issue. Like sometimes like between the arm there would be a nightmare to get. If you really wanted to like shade underneath the whatchamacallit, the shorts and stuff, you could kind of get in there. And if it's hard to get in there, it all depends. I'm not too crazy about trying to overdo it with that, but so what we'll do is, since this bottle's almost empty anyway, we'll turn this to a semi-transparency color. Throw a bunch of water in there and this might be too bright, so I'm going to mix some of the original color in with this. This might be too get sort of a in-between color. Still a little too bright. Oops. I always do that with these bottles. It's a good thing it didn't splurt all over the statue. Got lucky on that one. Alright, I'm gonna hit her one more time with dull coat. We'll let her dry up a bit, work on some of the others. Now I know Misty doesn't wear like a lot of makeup, so should we add like at least some eyeshadow on her and stuff? There's a spot on the back of her leg that looks like I need to sand that down. I might have to go back into that another day and sort of clean up. There's a little bit of a line over here I didn't see from the printing, so that's gonna bother me. But I can't sand it down now with the paint being so wet, so I'll have to let it dry for like a day or two and I could go back in and correct it. So I can have that corrected by next stream, but at least we're getting like the majority of it done now. Yeah, it wasn't until I hit the shading that this line over here popped up a little bit more. But I like the colors on her so far. I think it's gonna look fine. Yeah, we'll let this dry up a bit. What we'll do is we can pop off. Well, I can't touch that hand, but I can pop this one off. And I can probably, you know what, I gotta hit underneath of this a bit. This part's too much. Get these parts on the side to dry for a bit. So this doesn't fall. Let's get her. So I figure his teeth are white, correct? It's a black with, what the hell is this thing called again? Is that what it was? Chomp? So it's more of a bluish. It's blue. It's more like this. Yeah, it's kind of more of like a metallic blue. What the hell is this? Oh. They changed up, interesting. OBS changed some stuff. Strange. So it's kind of more of a, the ones I've seen is kind of more of like a metallic bluish color. Kind of like that a little bit better. So probably it's best thing to do is do the teeth white first and then mask it off. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the teeth first. So what I think I'll do is we'll do metallic, well, chrome silver teeth first, and then we could do a little bit of white onto it, because if I try to do white over the reddish paint that I have there, the red oxide, it'll show through. So we'll do the chrome silver first, and then from there we can if I can open it. Because I got a couple bottles of metallic blue that I've mixed up, and we might as well just use those. I think this color is, yeah, this is like a metallic blue I mixed up a while back. So I think this color will probably be good for it. I think it's kind of like something like this. We could put a little bit more blue into it. But I think what we'll do is, since he's got sort of like this damage on the side, I don't know if that was part of the sculpt or the 3D print. I don't remember. I think it's part of the sculpt. We'll kind of make it a little worn and dirty, so he's not perfectly all clean. Give him a little bit of scratches and some wear here and there. I think it'll look better that way. It was a print error because it looks like it's a sculpt. It looks perfect. It kind of looks like it's part of the sculpt, like damage. I don't know. I think it looks cool. So we're running with it. I don't know. It's been a while. I don't remember. I don't know, should we just leave the teeth metallic or should we paint them white? Because I was thinking of putting a drop of like white and pearlized white, but I don't know, maybe we should just leave it metallic? I don't know, I think I kind of like it like that. Yeah, I think we'll leave it like that, because if I think about it, if it's like pure white on the base, it might jump out too much. Because, let me see. Yeah, let's leave it metallic. Screw it. I think why not? Because I figure if we put the black lines between the teeth, make it a little messy. Yeah, I think we can have fun with that. We don't have to make it purely cartoon-like. Alright, we'll let this dry a bit before we mask it, because we don't want to mask while it's all, give it some time, leave it in the sun. Now we gotta paint side duck. Now side duck, what color is he? So he's kind of a muted yellow. I think this one's probably the best to work off of. So he's kind of a mustard yellow. Mustard yellow. Let's see what we got here. I think that's 2. It's what a bunch of yellows. Wow, I didn't realize a lot of my yellows are all dried up and so raw sienna be good. I bought the wrong brand of raw sienna. I ordered raw sienna and I meant to get the liquid text, but I got the golden by accident. But it should work fine for this. I like the liquid text better because I feel this golden has a little too much green in it. But I think for this one we should be fine. I don't have a lot of yellow paint, but I figure I can use up what I got. Almost there. Still a little too yellow. I think a couple of drops of this probably help. I want to have a little extra. I put in some skin tone, sunny skin tone from Model Air. If you ever want to take yellow down, skin tone kind of helps with that. Because like when we do his bill, probably have to mix this yellow with some skin, get it like that yellow. Because if you just put white in there, it'll kind of just kill the color. It's almost there. like it needs a little bit more of this. His feet are a different color though, right? That's one thing I didn't look. Yeah, yellow sucks. I hate yellow. It's the worst color ever. So I try not to use yellow right out of the bottle. I always try to mix up a color. Alright, so his bill and feet are the same color. Okay. So whatever color we do that, we do that. Is there some new Jessica Rabbits out there? I know one guy, well, I don't know if it was a guy, I think Patreon did one, but I really didn't like the sculpt, but that was a while ago, so is there some new stuff out there? It's way too thick. Yeah, I saw the work in progress one. Maybe it's the same one we're thinking of. My friend sent me a picture of another Power Girl somebody's sculpting. Not really feeling that one either. She just looked too thin from the sculpt. I wasn't really feeling it, so I told him I'll pass on it. Yeah, I wish all the Power Girls I've seen have been very, very, like, very thin. Not like athletic or anything. So, but I know, what is it, the one guy is making one. I forgot his name. A+ Collectives, but they're doing something different, I think. Hey Sam, yeah, you should do it. Not that I know who the character is. I probably would have to see the model. Is it a 3D print or is it like a pre-painted item? Yeah, I got this line still here. I thought I filled it in. Alright, that's alright. I'll have to get a lot of the basic colors down first. Seeing if there's any like errors and stuff I missed. There's a little spot there I gotta sand down, but it's alright. At least we got the basic color that I'm looking for. That's why I mixed up a big batch of it too, because if I have to go back or I screwed anything up, at least we have the color. This side duck is definitely not something out of the bottle. Should probably mark my bottle too. Okay, I got you. I love customizing. I like seeing other people customize too. It's just fun to see one-of-a-kind items out there. Wash my hands real quick. Oh, I got you. All right. Has there? I don't know. I'm kind of curious what it is. Let me see. Is there anything new on Colts? I haven't checked many sculpts in a while. Well, there's yeah, there was a new one with from Abe 3D. It came with Hollywood, right? And I guess ES Monster did do a second version. There's a couple of new items up on Cults. Yeah, there's a yeah. This was the second version. This looks pretty cool. Too bad it's not a... This is like a wall ornament or something? Yeah, it's a wall piece. Too bad that's not like a full size. It's not bad. Other than that, I haven't seen any other new ones. Sitting in the chair. Let me see. I think I just saw that one. This one is the one I like, but let me see if I can... No, I'm not seeing one sitting in the chair. At least not on Colts. I see one with her legs crossed. See, this one I kind of like, but it's not... I think the hair is too animated. Unless CG Trader has more. Yeah, it's fine. Let me look at CG Trader. I'm kind of curious. I haven't looked in a while, so. Yeah, so I hate Cults. I mean, I hate CG Trader because it just like gives you rabbits. You like the new Hulk from Sideshow? It looks like a Justin Bieber haircut to me. I don't know, I'm not a Hulk fan, so I kind of don't really care. But when I first saw that new Hulk, I couldn't get past the hair. It just looks like Justin Bieber roided out to me. I can't believe they gave him that type of haircut. That's just how I see it. So I would pass if I were you, Devastator. Alright, if you want a roided out Justin Bieber on your shelf, go for it. I won't judge you for it, alright? At least not publicly. Yeah, I haven't ordered anything yet either, because I still got personal stuff to do. The only thing I'm waiting on right now is the Justice Blitzway Superman, so I can make my Kingdom Come out of it. And other than that, I don't have anything else on. Well, I'm going to get the Superboy Prime from that one producer. My friend's gonna order it for me, but that's just a trade-off for some work. But I think that's about it for right now. You're talking about I think his name was like, wasn't it like Stephen Chow or something? That was the Korean Hulk, I think it was. Or Dr. Chow or something. That's it. I don't know how you say the name, but Amadeus. Is that it? Yeah, I'm gonna make myself the Supergirl in the white outfit from the animated TV show and in the comics. I think her name was Linda Danvers. I have a statue to make it, I just haven't had the chance to work on it, of course, but that's another one I have to make for my collection. Alright, where is this? Let's see how this color looks. No, that's way too... It's gotta be... Gotta get more blue in there and black. Let's see. Do I have any... I don't know if I have enough Tamiya colors to mix in with this. What's this one here? Okay, I got a blue, and then I got gunmetal. I have black here somewhere. Is this black? Yeah, summer gloves. Okay. I figure I never use this brand anymore, so we might as well see if we can mix something up. So that's a deeper blue. It's not as blue as the picture I'm showing, but it's got a blackish blue tint to it without being too much. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. Like I said, I never really use these colors at all, so I might as well just use it for this. These have been collecting dust for ages, so screw it. Let's I think that'll be good. We'll run with that. And if it's too dark, well, I still got this bottle. As long as it's got a hint of blue and it's not too metallic, I think it'll work. Always happens when I start painting. Start getting all the bottles in my way. I know the chains are a different color, but I just got a bunch in the airbrush. I figured what the hell, just spray it down. So this way I know. Drone sightings? Haven't had drone sightings in ages. The only thing that's been really happening in New Jersey is mostly, whatchamacallit, tornadoes now. There's been like 3 or 4 tornadoes in the past month, I think. It was about 4 weeks ago. We had a crazy storm by me. I swear to God, I always thought the tornado was around my area. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's got the blue tint in it. Probably not too well in this camera. So we'll let that dry up. I'll pull off the masking once it kind of cures a bit. And I guess the chain's going to be silverish. And then we can kind of put scratches on it, weather it a bit. I don't think I'm going to make it too glossy. Even though it looks shiny, I'm not going to gloss it up to make it look like mirror gloss. But it should look pretty good. Yeah, ever since they shut down CERN, everything's kind of going crazy. So... everybody's been complaining about the heat, but it has not been that hot though here. It's like today's humid, but for the past 4 days it's been beautiful out. And when I say beautiful, it means that I don't need to have the AC on. I had the windows open, I had the fans going at night, and it was really cool. But today it got really friggin' muggy, so I had to put the AC back on. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't... The weather hasn't been as crazy as, I don't know, if people make it out to be, at least to me. I always figure if I can just put the AC on only a few times, but have the windows open, I'm good. But, I don't know. We'll see. But the media loves to tell us that every year it's the worst summer ever. The world is ending, blah blah blah. If the world's ending, just end it already. You know? Just end it already. Alright, so should we give her somewhat smoky eyes? Very subtle, I guess. She's not really a makeup gal, I guess you can say. I've been trying to do more like lipstick without, you know, putting on paint. And the thing I have here, this red wasn't enough, so I went on Amazon and I found this one. It's a little bit more pungent red. It's actually not bad. It was cheap. It's probably not like good for people, but it works good on the statue. So. Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe not black eyeshadow, but maybe a little bit darker. And of course not heavy lipstick, you know. But, let me see, I got a couple colors here that might work. A magnet UV nail resin? What is that? Wasn't those like nail salons, those UV stuff on nails causing women to get like cancer in their fingers? Wasn't there a big thing about that like a few months back? Don't be sticking your hands in those nail things. Hey JC, how's it going? Oh, magnet with stuff. Alright, well, be careful. Don't be doing anything crazy with it. That's alright, JC. I've had a fairly busy week with the parents. So I haven't had a chance to really do much. I'm actually going to Terrificon next weekend. I need a day to myself. Gotta get out of the house a bit. Want to get some stuff signed. I'm not really getting. I'm kind of sick of having family emergencies, because I just gotta kind of not think about it for a bit. just need a I need a break. I need a break from life. We need to just shut down life for a while. Let's have a national day where everybody just stops everything. Just everyone just sits home and just stop the bullshit. Who's with me? We just need a day or a week where just every asshole just stays home. Don't leave the house. Even if you don't think you are the asshole, you just stay home, you know? That's what we need. That's what I'm calling for. Yeah, you're right, Raz. They'll fuck it up, you know? Everybody should stay home and they'll actually use it as an excuse to go out. Yeah, pretty much, Sam. That's how it's gonna work, but I don't know. No, I don't know anymore. That's why I need next weekend. Not sure what day yet, but I want to go to Terrificon. I want to get Mike Grail to sign my book. I want to get Mark Wade to sign a book, even though Mark's very political now. But I want him just to sign a book for my display to go at my Kingdom Come setup. And then there's also a guy, Jeff Deckel, and I think it'd just be fun just going through comic books for today, just to have some fun. Sadly, I'm going to get priced out of comic books now because my friend sent me all the artists that I was looking to get within the next couple years. They're like signature prices, and someone like Mark Wade, he does first signatures free for being a fan, but then if you want extra signatures, he charges, which I understand. That's kind of like good in a way, But some of these other guys are charging now like $20 to $25 just for a signature, and then they charge a fee on top of that if it's witnessed. So I guess now a lot of the artists are trying to get their cut of the pie, which I understand if you're going there and you're having them sign like 20 books and you're going to flip them on eBay after you get them graded. But for me, just doing it for my own display, I'm kind of getting priced out now. So I'm probably just going to do get a couple more books signed within the next year or two, and then after that I think I'm just going to go directly to sketch covers. Because it's one guy I was thinking of getting signed. I think he's like $60 for a witness now. And that's just, so it's $60 for a witness on top of getting it graded from CGC. It's like you're already in almost like the $100 range. So things have gotten crazy in the market. I mean, I like meeting the artists and I like getting stuff signed. It's fun, but I'm kind of getting priced out of it. Do you guys ever go to comic shows or any shows in your areas? I mean, I still love going. I know, I think what's the next big one? New York Comic Con's the next big one? That's something I definitely don't go to anymore. Wow, okay. You guys got to get out. Hit up a couple of them. Well, I like hitting the small shows for fun. But I like hitting Terrific Con because it's more of a comic show. But I'm afraid they're going to start turning into a pop culture show over time. Yeah, New York Comic Con I stopped in 2016, I think it was. I stopped going because it became a full-blown pop culture show. It got too expensive for me being down South Jersey to go north, get a train, take the train into the city, because I was not driving into the city at all. Not for New York Comic Con. And then take the train back, get in the car, come home. It's just too much of a day. And like you said, the ticket prices are insane now. I was going to Baltimore every year, but the last year me and my friend went, it just was really, it was like depressing. Like Baltimore seems to be going downhill. So I don't think we're going to go to Baltimore anymore. It was just like a depressing show. There was like nobody there. Like a bunch of artists canceled. And the artists that were there seemed like they didn't even want to be there. So I think that show is kind of off our list now. I want to do I think it's, what is it, MegaCon, or I want to do MegaCon and HeroesCon. One of them's in Florida and one of them's in North Carolina. So I really, really want to do both of those shows one year. The one in North Carolina looks really good. But the one in Florida has all the artists though that I want to get signatures from. So I'm thinking 1 year I'd do go down to like Florida by myself for a trip. Just hop in a plane. Go down, have some fun, and then come home. I think that's kind of the plan. But knowing when I'm ready to go, the world's gonna end. Yeah, I used to take the train from Jersey into Madison Square Garden and then just walk to the Javits. It was like, I think at the time when I was going, it was like $18 round trip. But the problem was, I had to use the one train station that had free parking, so it was like, if you used the train stations that were closer, you had to pay more money than buying the ticket, so it would be a longer ride in. It was like, I think it was like a 30-minute train ride in, or a 20-minute, something like that. Usually it should be 20, but with all the delays. Yeah, I don't know. New York is just too packed. It's just, I don't know. It's not a fun show anymore. What I found interesting is when you go to New York show, to go and see an artist and to get a signature, it's like insane. But if you go to like a Baltimore, how much are tickets now for New York? I think when I was going, they were like, damn, God, I don't even remember. Probably around the $60 range, I think. I heard San Diego Comic Cons, aren't those like around like 100 and something? Yeah, they got to be way higher than that. Like I said, I stopped around 2016, and I used to get the whatchamacallit, the professional pass. That was it. I think they stopped those now. Because everybody was a professional when I was online. Oh, it's so let me see what you said, 129. Do you have to go through Ticketmaster to get it? Because if it's through Ticketmaster, you have to pay their fee, so you're probably paying at least 150. Because I know with Terrificon, the tickets are only like 34, 35, but with Ticketmaster, they get their cut, so it's like 50 bucks. That's why I friggin' hate Ticketmaster, but they monopolized everything, so you have to go through Ticketmaster. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember when I was going, I was doing the professional pass because I actually worked for Bowen Design, so therefore I was considered a professional at the time. So I put in the application and I got it. So the professionals lined up on one side, then you had the VIPs on another, and then you had everybody else. So the first year I was a professional, the line wasn't that long. But by the last year I went, the professional line was longer than the regular line. So I guess New York realized that their system screwed up. So people were like using their friends' teachers' ID and all this stuff. So I remember they said that was like the last year professionals could go in early. So I think now it's just regular pass and VIP, I think. And I don't know if they do press pass anymore. They probably do. But let's face it, all the good stuff is usually sold out because all the vendors are making deals with each other. That's the one thing I would not allow if I ran a comic book show like that. I would say all vendors are not allowed to make deals or sell anything before the doors open. And vendors can't wait at other people's tables to get all the exclusives. Because I remember C2E2 and the other show, I know it was called C2E2, I think it was, and there was another show that all the vendors were going around to each other getting all the exclusives, so when they open up the doors, there wasn't one exclusive for a regular attendee. So, and that caused a huge shitstorm in the hobby. Like, everybody went to the show just to get that exclusive, and all the vendors had them on their tables, and they jacked up the prices. So that was a whole big thing, too. Yeah, they changed a lot up. But I don't miss it anymore. I'm happy with the little shows I go to. I like the smaller shows. I like being able to actually walk the floor without hitting somebody in a cosplay outfit every 5 seconds like New York. I'm not knocking cosplay, I just don't... It's just a pain in the ass trying to walk the floor and there's like wings and stuff hitting your face, you know? Yeah, I think Chicago is the C2E2. That was that was probably around 2023, I think. 22, 23 when the shows opened back up. Um, that was a huge shit show. After that, I kind of stopped buying the exclusives. I was like, well, what's the point if you're gonna just sell it to vendors so they can jack it up to a, you know, $100, $200 a book? Which, you know, and I'm just doing it because I want to like have it to put on my wall or something. But yeah, they shot themselves in the foot now. I don't think these exclusives sell very well anymore. Even ones that I like, I don't even bother buying. And then when like Black Friday happens, they're all over the Black Friday sales. But even then, they're not worth it. Yeah, it was a C2E2, and I forgot the cover that was exclusive. It wasn't something I really wanted, but I was watching the shit show, and I remember all the vendors ran to the guy's table, and they were there buying up the book before the show opened up. And then I remember the Whatnot girl, I forgot her name. She was on like Whatnot selling the cover already for like an inflated price before the show even opened up, and everybody was like, how'd you get this cover? How'd you get this cover? And then I remember when the show actually officially opened, there was already all the vendors there, and they bought like a box of like 100 copies or 200, 300 copies of the book, and they were running to their booths and they were jacking it up on Whatnot. It was a big shit show. I felt sorry too because there was like 3 guys who got online first and there was no books for them to buy. I think it was that, I forgot that girl's name. She's a Whatnot person, and I think the guy Gem Mint was part of that debacle, if I remember. I think he got in on the exclusives, and then I want to say it was also that guy Comic Tom. Maybe it was him. I don't know. It was like that whole influencer craze with the comics at the time. It was a shit show. All right, should I trying to think here. Yeah, that was I think that was at the time too when I said, all right, I'm not buying these exclusives anymore unless it's a really key book I really want. And I skipped a bunch of those Power Girl covers, but when they did the All-Star 58 reprinted blind bag, I fell into the trap and got a couple, but I didn't go crazy buying those. But since then, I haven't really bought anything. But I think 2 of those online vendor sites are going to be at Terrificon, so I might go to their tables to see if they have like back issues selling cheap. We'll see. We shall see. Alright, I'm going to put a tiny bit of blush on her, but not a lot. Just on the cheeks a little bit. Should have some on the brush. That's good, without going too crazy on it. Okay, so the camera is very, very blue. Why is that blue? A little bit better. Alright, so I think that's good enough for her face without putting too much. I didn't put up a lot of eyeshadow. It's just if we need to do more on the lips, we'll do more on the lips. I'm going to let her skin dry up. I'm going to fix this area here. Sorry if we start making a mess on her because I can, yeah, it's this spot here. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to fix this spot over here. And I think that should, and I'm going to make her a very flat skin, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do yeah, we're gonna let it dry up. I'll hit a couple other areas, but I'm going to seal some of the face a little bit now, just to get that sealed. Get that sealed up a bit. So this is the matte varnish. Just to get some of that pastels sealed up. This spot here is it looked like just a dab of something. I had to kind of blend it out. What I should do though is add a little bit. Let's try that out. Using some of this, it's called Warlock Bronze from Citadel. It's great for like adding rust onto like metal. Well, make it look like it's kind of not perfectly, just, you know. Because I didn't want it to be purely like just perfectly, I actually like it. Looks a little worn out and I think that works. I don't think you guys can really see it too well. You know what it is? I changed my camera settings for the Jesse video. Forgot to change it back for this. But so I figure we keep doing each week, just keep painting little stuff here and there, and we'll end up getting it done. But you figure that'll look pretty cool with her, you know? So what I'll do is just put some foam on the bottom of it. You can kind of place them wherever. Oh, excuse me. Oh, thank you, Tara. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know my videos are not super clear because my camera work sucks, but I figured at least it was fun to do a nice work in progress series. I'm gonna have to end up putting her on eBay though. I didn't get any interest on it yet, so I figured get her up on eBay probably in a week. But at least we got some stuff done today. So this is, I could put this in the closet for now. Get this together. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that series because it was such a good statue to work off of. So I got to figure out what's the next statue to work off of for my next character. But it's gonna be a while before I start one. Yeah, my camera, I forgot what settings these were for this. I don't think it was this setting. Maybe a little bit better. Yeah, I gotta remember to do settings and stuff. But yeah, this is a little bit better. So I got to fix up some side duct stuff. I got this line here, little couple spots that I missed, so I could get those fixed up, painted. But as far as she goes, I'm pretty happy with her skin. I like the face on her. It's not too overpowering, so I think that should work for her pretty well. So I just got to fix the back of her leg, fix side duct, and then we just keep plugging away on her. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Just a couple spots I got to correct, but what it is I got to do it off camera where I could zoom in and kind of get in there with the airbrush a little bit. That's the only downside of like painting. Sometimes I gotta pick up the item, but since this is like all skin, it's kind of hard to grab like an area I just painted. So sometimes I gotta kind of like wait a day or so. But I figured next week that we can start working on jeans and her shirt and the shoes and just keep plugging away. What I need to do is I gotta take Peach and I gotta spray her down with the primer sealer, so this way when we do the gloss coat stuff on her, it goes on better. So Peach is going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but she doesn't have a lot of skin, so it should be okay. You just got to mask off those areas. And as far as Cammy, I just got to sand down the skirt and touch up some stuff, and I think we could start painting her up too. But I have a funny feeling she probably is going to get done first. But I do like the head on this though. The head is nice. It's actually a good head sculpt. Now that I painted it a little bit, might have to use that head for other customs down the line. It's now that it's painted, I don't know how well you guys can see. But it's a really good head sculpt. Yeah, I might have to use this for customs down the line. I do like it. not a bad. It's a really good sculpt. It's kind of cool. It's like the way I painted it. It's got those areas with the eye sockets that work well with like pastels. But since I didn't do a lot of lipstick on her because she's softer lips for this character, so it's a little bit different. But alright, that's where I'm calling it. I'm done for the weekend. I have to help my cousin tomorrow, so I'm tapped out. But at least we got something done today. We'll keep plugging away on it next week. So I'll have all this corrected and we'll kind of keep plugging away. Alright? So you guys have a good rest of your weekend.